Hey everybody, this is Mr. Enyart with Morning Work, Tuesday, week 26. Let's do it. Here we go with Tuesday, week 26 morning work. We're going to cross multiply to find 75% of an unknown amount, knowing that 75% is 60. So you set it up with the 75 out of 100. First, 75% times, and then you put the 60, which is the part of x. X is the total. Total goes on the bottom. So this is the is. 60 is 75% of, we don't know, an unknown amount. So 75x, right, is going to be equal to 60 times 100, right? And that's going to be a 6 with 3 zeros, 6,000. So now we're just going to divide both sides by 75. We're going to have to set that up like this. 75 doesn't go into 6 or 60, but it goes into 600. 8 times. Now, how can we do that quickly? Well, 75 and 75 is 150. Right, going by 150 and 150 would be 300. That's 4 75s. 300 and 300 is 600. So that's 8 75s, which is going to leave me right at 8. And then I will need the 0 to go on there. So x has to be 80. To double check this, we make sure that 80 is greater than 60 because 60 is a part of x, as 75 was a part of 100. So it is, and 6 to 8 sounds a lot like 75%. As far as the size goes. So I'm pretty sure 6 to 8 is equal to 3/4, and 3/4 is the fraction form of 75%. So it works. So number 2, we have 10% is 10 hundredths, and we're going to say of with our multiplication there, and it's of x, so x is our total, is 12. 12 is our part. 12 has to be less than x, so we set it up like this. 10x equals 1200 or 1200, and we're just going to divide both sides by 10 to cancel that out, and that's going to leave us 120 over 1, so 120. And that makes sense because 10 12s equals 120. All right, so for number 3, we've got 144 chairs that are going to be in 12 rows. We want to know how many chairs are in each row. And then we need to write an equation to solve. So the way I'm reading this is there are 144 chairs. That's the total. And they're going to be placed into 12 rows. So here's 12 rows. How many would be in each row? So this is a what kind of question? It is a division question, and it's division because we're taking a total and breaking it into smaller equal pieces. So our equation would be 144 divided by 12, and that's a basic fact, which is 12 chairs per row. And there we go. So if you remember, we have the mean, which was adding up all of our 5 numbers, then dividing by 5, because that's how many there are, and they got 17. They already gave us that. So the mean absolute deviation, you want to write that down, mean absolute deviation, is how far is each data point from the mean. So how far is 17 from 6? 9. So we're going to write down the 9 as a new list. Beginning of that for the first point. How far is 16 from 17? Only 1. How far is 18 from 17? Only 1. How far is 21 from 17? 4. And how far is 24 from 17? 7. So now we find the mean of those. So we have 10, 5, and 7. And then we have 15 and 7, which is going to be 22. And now we're going to do 22 divided by 5 because there were 5 numbers in our new list. And so that's going to be 4 and 2/5 left over. And as a decimal, because data is usually as a decimal, 2/5, if you recall, is 0.4. So it is 4.4, or 4 and 4, hundredths, 4 and 4/10, sorry, 4 and 4/10 as our MAD, mean absolute deviation. For number 5, here's a picture of histogram 2. It is heights of 9-year-old girls. So the heights are down here in intervals of 121 to 125, etc. And our frequency, which is how many people have that height, right? So each of these bars represents a number of girls, in this case 3, then 4, then 8, then 14, and finally another 3. And since it wants to know how many girls our heights represented, we would need the total number of girls. So we've got 7, 15, then let's see, 25 and 4 is 29, and another 3 is going to be 32 girls. So 6 and 7 are working together. We're going to plot our x coordinates, which, as a reminder, again, it's our left and right coordinates, and our y is our up and down coordinates. Remember, x comes before y. So all of our x's, right, this will be left 3, left 1, right 1. This will be up 4, up 1, down 1. So let's see what that makes. -3, +4 is our first one. So -3, +4 would be left 3 from 0, 0, up 4 right here. Right, then we've got -1, +1, -1, +1. Then we have +1, -1. So that's right 1, down 1. Does that make a straight line? Oh man, that doesn't look good. I don't think, does it? I mean, I think these two would have, right? Because they're in a straight line going across that. But if you keep that going, see how it doesn't actually land on this? So I'm going to say no, because this one is like up. If it was here, yes. But since it's here, it doesn't. And I think these two had like the same number, just opposites, right? This was opposites. -1 and +1 are opposites. But -3 and +4, they're not opposites. So I think that's probably why. So I'll put my no right there. Number 8, draw a normal distribution. If you remember, we had data that is symmetrical, right? It means it's going to have its peak and it's going to come back down, right? That is a normal distribution. Just looks like a hill. I like this kind of question. So you buy 10, right, and you spend $32. Oops, it's the wrong thing. $32. So I wrote that as a ratio here. For every 10, it's $32. We want to know how much 8 is, right? Well, I can't do 10 divided by something and land on 8, which would therefore let me divide this by the same amount. But I can go back to the cost of one shirt, therefore find the rate, right, which is always just dividing across the ratio, and then take that times 8. So what is 10 divided by 10? 1, right? And therefore, what is 32 divided by 10? All we have to do is move the decimal place over once to the left. It's $3.20. So now we do $3.20 times 8, and we set it up like this because we can 25. The decimal, when we multiply, only when we multiply, we just set it up like it's 320 times 8, and then we have 2 decimal place values in our problem. So we're going to have 2 in our answer. So it's going to be $25.60 for 8 shirts. For this one, it wants you to use the distributive property, which says I can distribute what's outside the parentheses to each thing in the parentheses. And so it's going to be 8 times 9. And we can add that to distributing our 8 to the 4. 8 times 4. And so that's going to give us 72 plus 32. And our final answer is going to be 104. Now, if you'd have just done 9 plus 4 and got 13 and did 13 times 8, you would have also gotten 104. In the long run, as long as you can get the correct answer, I don't care how you do it, but you do want to know what the distributive property is because it's used quite a bit. Well, there you have it. Hope it was helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me on Schoology or comment. Talk to you later.